Edelman, Gronk, and Brady, you add up their ages, it's 236. They are old veterans.
It's over 100 all combined.
It's a lot. See, how impressive was Edelman last night?
He was very impressive. But if you look at New England and what they do, that position has always brought out the best in all the players. If you go back, all 6 of their Super Bowls, you calculate who's going to be in the slot, who's going to be in that position, that being a running back, that being a tight end, sometime Gronk or others. That is the position in that offense. Every offense has certain spots that are highlighted. In New England, it's that slot position. And Edelman, I would say, I'm not even going to say he's the best slot receiver they have, but where Tom Brady is at in his game, it allows that slot receiver to be better than any of the other slot receivers, and they throw the ball more now in New England than earlier in his career. So when you talk about Troy Brown, you talk about Deion Branch, you talk about Wes Welker, all these guys have been phenomenal for New England playing that slot position. But now, where Tom is and the advancement in the offense as far as Josh, because they have really built this offense to be where it is right now, where they have more flexibility, and Edelman has taken advantage of that. His short area quickness, his overall toughness, him being a quarterback in college allows him and Tom Brady to be on the same page. His ability to get releases off the line of scrimmage, because he's not blessed with height nor speed, but he uses his brain and his foot quickness to be able to get in and out of his breaks. Great with his hands. Those are the reasons why he's successful, and that offense, the way it's created, helps that.
And would you agree with, while that position's been highlighted throughout Brady's entire career there, that position is more important now than maybe any other point in Brady's career, because Brady is more limited at this point throwing outside the numbers, more limited with the deep ball than before, and
right.
that's one
I don't
of the reasons.
think Brady's more limited throwing outside. It's just they don't have the receiver.
Okay.
So with Josh Gordon being gone, they didn't trust throwing the ball outside. Matter of fact, the interception, who were they throwing that ball to?
They were throwing it on that one. Hogan, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So you lose your trust. Josh Gordon's gone from the team. Since then, they changed the team. It became a Sony Michel team and a slot receiver Edelman team. That's the way the team evolved. That's how they were able to win the Super Bowl.
So I want to give Edelman full credit before I pump the brakes a bit on this, okay? First of all, he was spectacular. Well, on a few things. He was spectacular in the biggest spots in the AFC Championship game. In that overtime, 2 of those 3rd and 10s went to him. He was unguardable last night. And if they had decided that, hey, the MVP has to be an offensive player, which I guess they did, because when you hold the other team to 3 points, you could have made an argument the MVP should have been a defensive player. Make an argument.
It was either Edelman or Stephon Gilmore.
Yes, I thought Gilmore had he forced a fumble that could have flipped the game. It just bounced out of bounds.
Yep.
He obviously had the interception that did not end the game, but it ended the Rams' best scoring chance.
But because they have so much confidence in him, that's how you develop that game plan.
Yep.
Because, okay, I believe in Stephon Gilmore. He's going to negate Cooks. So I'm able to double Woods. They ain't got no tight end. They ain't got another back. So what it allows everyone, it allows the defensive line to play with confidence. It allows the linebackers to play with confidence because of that one guy.
So I thought Gilmore was spectacular. But of the offensive players, you couldn't give it to Brady. No. Sony Michel had maybe a small case for it. Edelman made the most sense. And he made play after play. So I'll give him credit. And I'm not even going to hold against him that in baseball he wouldn't have been eligible to play in the postseason because he was suspended. He missed last year with an injury. He was suspended for PEDs to start this season. And by the way, it's the 2nd straight Patriots MVP that started the year suspended. Super Bowl MVP. A couple of years ago, Tom Brady suspended for different reasons. This year, Edelman. But some influential football people, your pal Adam Schefter, some other people are starting to talk about, is Julian Edelman a Hall of Famer? That can't start. I just mentioned Isaac Bruce got 15,000 yards and is waiting and waiting.
Right.
You retired with, I know it's not about you, but I'm gonna bring it up.
No, it's definitely not about me.
But you retired with 130 touchdowns. You waited. We've got receivers that wait. Julian Edelman has made the most of his career, and he is a big game player. But let's do one of these blind reveals I love so much that I haven't done in quite some time. These 2 careers, to me, they are remarkably similar.
Good Lord.
Edelman's got a few more catches. The guy on the right has more yards. Edelman, and this is playoffs and regular season combined. Edelman's got 35 touchdowns. Guy on the right has 43. Edelman's got 3 rings. Guy on the right has 2. They both are Super Bowl MVPs. Show me the guy on the right.
Santonio.
Deion Branch.
Oh, Deion Branch. Okay.
Deion Branch. Anybody getting that bust ready? Anybody arguing Deion Branch is a Hall of Famer? It's the same career. I'm sorry to interrupt. Like, we can't do this. We can't all of a sudden be such prisoners of the moment that I know it's going to be weird when the only offensive player to be with Brady for a long time to make the Hall of Fame is Gronk. Like, Randy's obviously in there, but he's only there briefly. Like, right. I know that's odd, and it's a testament to Brady's greatness. But Julian Edelman is not a Hall of Fame finalist caliber guy, much less being floated as he's working his way into Canton.
Wait, just quickly, is it a prisoner of the moment or a prisoner of the playoffs? Because when he does it, you did say he does it on the biggest stage and it's most memorable, and maybe that kind of influences.
It doesn't matter, though. When you have 600 catches, that's not going to get you to the party.
Right.
What about Hines Ward? Remember how long John Stallworth and Lynn Swann, I think they waited over 30 years, and they were pretty good at the biggest stages, and they had the same number of catches 30 years ago.
And Hines Ward doubles up Edelman's numbers, also has a couple championships, also has a Super Bowl MVP. And with respect to Hines, I don't know that he's going to get in. And so it's just, to me, we can't do that. Congrats, Julian Edelman.
Sure.
And nobody believed in you. You printed the T-shirts, and I paid for them, and you were right. So congrats to them. But the Canton stuff got to stop.
We didn't even.
It's hard to put it in perspective because I don't think that you can equate every year. You're losing 60% of your players in free agency. That's what we deal with. 60% of every roster is changing every single year. And Belichick teaches a type of football that all 1,800 players in the NFL, they can't play for him. There's only a select group of guys that can play. The way he coaches, the way he runs his business, the way he attacks it, they know that there's only a small group. They get the group. They're not worried about the rest of the group. They get the guys that are going to be sponges to the way they teach and the way that they're going to operate. And how he's been able to do that through the NFL changing, through the rules changing, he's changed his overall philosophy, but his continuity. Offensive line coach, Dante Scarnecchia there, 17 of the 19 years. Josh McDaniel, the only coach to leave the family,
come back,
go away, the prodigal son, and Bill lets him back in. Everyone else, he's not letting them back into the room. There's a reason why he does that. But that overall continuity, running back coach has been there, I think, 16 of the 19 years there. So what they've done is phenomenal. Them believing in Tom Brady and how they got those first 2 or 3 Super Bowl wins with a running game, dominant, very, very physical, a dominant defense, and great special teams. And now we go back to Super Bowl VI. They go back to the original way that they won. They didn't throw the ball up and down the field. They were ball control, great special teams. We're going to hold the team down, and we're just going to play more solid physical football. So it's remarkable to me. I haven't seen anything like it.
And the NFL is built to prevent it.
Yes.
This is why, to me, this is.
Right now at Park Avenue, they're going through the schedule for next year.
Right.
Man, they go on Thursday nights. They go on Monday nights. They're getting ready. They're going to play in every possible time slot. So it is set up. You're picking last in the draft. You're going to have the worst and the toughest schedule of all the teams. So it's set up for you to fail.
And the league is set up for everyone to go 8-8. Like, this is the parity league. This is the greatest dynasty in the modern era. Like, and it's the only, if we want to remove the modern era, it's the only true long-term dynasty like this that didn't have built-in structural advantages. So how did the Celtics win 8 straight and 11 of 13? They were one of the first teams to really welcome in multiple black players. They had Bill Russell. They had a structural advantage. UCLA, how did they do it? Well, they were able to, let's just say, acquire the best player in high school basketball every single year. Tennessee women's basketball, UConn women's basketball. There's such a limited pool of super elite young female high school basketball players. For a time, Tennessee got all of them.
Right.
Now UConn was getting all of them. So they had structural advantages. Patriots ain't got no structural advantage. Patriots don't have something built in. People are like, oh, it's the division. They win the exact same percentage of games out of division as in their division. Their structural advantage is Belichick's brain and the culture there and Brady's undying commitment to getting better, commitment to health, commitment to extending this as long as possible. It is totally unprecedented. And I can say with confidence, this in the NFL over a 2-decade span where they won 3 of 4 to start it, and now 3 of 5 on the back end, we will never see something like this again.
Did what you saw last night change which one of these two needs the other one more? Clearly, Tom Brady's a bit on his decline, even though he was
I've been in the NFL locker room, so it's not fair to ask me. No player's going nowhere without no coach. All right?
What about the other way?
Yeah, I know who Tom Brady is. I know how he evolved, and you need all those things. And don't forget the Kraft organization. Because Belichick's not who he is, and Brady's not who he is if they don't have RKK there. RKK, that's Robert Kenneth Kraft.
One of the first times Chris and I were ever on TV together on somebody else's show, I think it might have been on The Herd, and this exact question came up. And I was adamant, not surprising, that it's the player, and Chris was adamant it's the coach. What we've seen since then, over the last 2 years, most notably what we've saw in the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, to me, that softens my stance greatly. It sure feels to me like, while Brady's the greatest quarterback I've ever seen, the secret sauce in New England starts with Bill Belichick and trickles down from there.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.